Hello, how's everybody doing? Go Ukraine. Anyways, Teresa and Joe and a few other, probably about, a dozen or so of you guys out there, right, have been asking me to make a new video. Okay, so I'll make a new video. Today is, I do believe it's January 6th, 2025. Yeah. Happy New Year to everybody that's still out there, still supports me. Thank you very much. I truly believe in it. You know. Right, anyways, haven't made a video in a long time. I have probably 50 gigs of raw video on my phone right there. You know what I'm saying? Of, being out in the mountains and going on adventures and every other thing. But, it's kind of tedious and it's kind of boring, and I really don't like doing it, editing video and all that stuff and snipping and cutting and, adding in cool stuff and everything else like, all the big guys do, right? It's really kind of difficult to do it on the phone. I do have a computer, but I'm not going to tell you the story of that one. Right? But, sooner or later, one of these days, hopefully, I'm going to get back to, my usual standard of video, right? And see where we go from there. Because there's a lot of things, I've been thinking a lot, the last year or so. There's a lot of things, a lot of different projects, a lot of different directions I could go, living out here. Right? Right now I'm in the shed and I got various projects going on here that I've been working on here and there. I got a dresser over there that I've been rebuilding. Right? I've been trying to get our, old MIG welder to work, but, I just can't seem to get the wire to feed through the loop. Right? Maybe one of these days I'll make a video and ask some of you guys that actually know, without getting all rude and disrespectful about it, please explain to me, what's either wrong with the welder or wrong with me, you know what I'm saying, and so that I can make the dang thing work, because I have, various other projects that need to be welded that are just laying around that are rather just disappointing, you know what I'm saying, because I can't get the welder to work, alright? But this video is not about the welder. I'll make, don't hold me to my words, but I'll make another video about the welder. See if any of you really, you guys that really know anything can help me, right? So let's go on to the next things, As a lot of you that have been around forever, if you still watch, right? You know that I do a lot of this stuff right off the cuff, right? So, and since this is January, I have to start thinking about and I have to start planning, my garden for this come spring and summer. You know what I'm saying? And we grow food, don't get us wrong, we grow food, besides from other things that we grow. Right? So I'm figuring that, I'll start this new year, right, with a video, that explains, where I start and how I get going with my little garden. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm trying to stay within the community regulations and all that stuff with this series of videos, right? So please excuse me, you know what I'm saying, if I am not actually as direct about what I'm doing, right, as you think I should be. Right? You're supposed to be, human beings with a brain, and you're supposed to be able to figure things out. Right? I've always been really good at fixing things and doing things and building things and making things grow. So my advice to the younger ones, right, that watch any of these videos in this maybe upcoming series, right, is to pay attention to what I do. Right? Because I might not necessarily be explaining to you what I'm doing, right? Because of what it is that I'm doing. Right? But if you pay attention and you follow along, you're going to figure out how, right, old school really works and how you make things grow, right, with what you have around you. You know, the way we did it when I was young, and that was a very long time ago. But anyway, so you know what I'm saying, that's the introduction. You know what I'm saying? This is, you know, like I said, I believe it's January 6th, 2025. So I'm gonna try this year, you know what I'm saying, to put out some videos and to try to keep you guys in the loop as to what I do. You know, right? Keep in mind, you know what I'm saying, that I do have a job, you know, and I am responsible for a lot of things and some people here, right? So I have other chores and I have other things, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to try my best, you know, to get back into the groove, back into the flow, right? Because I have a few other people behind the scenes, you know, encouraging me and pushing me along because, you know, I was pretty good at this at one time or another. You know, maybe my time will come again. I don't know. That depends on you. Okay, so this is the little enclosure that I built right here a couple months ago. Right, and this is for another project that we'll get into later. But you know, as you can see, if you look around, if you look out there to the mountains, right, we haven't gotten actually much snow yet this year. Right, we really haven't. You know, the other side here is Reese River Valley, right, and that's, you know, south going towards Tonopah that way. Right, that big one out there, the big tallest one out there, that one's Arc Dome. That one's got the most snow. Right, over here is Jefferson Mountain. This one's to the east, directly to the east of us. Right, we barely got any snow. Last year at this time, there was snow all the way to the bottom, snow everywhere. Right, and then the mine over there ain't really got much on top of Shoshone either. Right, so we've had a pretty dry winter. It's been cold as crap. I mean, you know, this morning it was pretty cold. Right, but anyways, I built this enclosure, as you can see. Right, this is the fence right here, the 4-strand barbed wire. Right, that's, you know, end of the property. Right, as you can see, right, I, you know, added a pallet to the end here. Right, and then built around this frame right here that you see is actually an upside down wooden swing. Over there somewhere, right, is the remains of the swing. I think it's right there on the ground. It's a chair, right? It's upside down, right? And I took these old bed rails that I found out there in the back 9, right? And I've, you know, wired it all together, right? You know, pounded it in the ground, you know, with nails and stuff, right? And then I used chicken wire, right? And I made a fence, you know what I'm saying? Fence posts, right? I used some, you know, big strand chicken wire here, heavy gauge, right? And made a fence, right? And then this was an existing barrier that I had made earlier, right, for the work area, right? I just, you know, attached it to the fence, put a few more stakes in, right? Put chicken wire all the way along, all the way around, right? You know what I'm saying? And made this area right here the compost area, right? See, I got me some compost, you know, cooking right now there. Let's go in and take a look at it. Right, since, you know, the sunlight's in the wrong area, right? And I just mixed it up, add some more water. I've been working on this compost bucket since, probably about September, right? It's half full. That one over there is already made. That's last year's batch, right? So I'm gonna add that one and this one in together with all the dirt that I've been saving, right? And the mulch, and I'm gonna get some more mulch and stuff from work, you know what I'm saying? Right, and this area right here, all of this whole area right here is big enough to hold 8 of those buckets. Right, so I'm going to plant them 2 by 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, and we're going to grow our garden right here. And then over here in the work area, right over there where the washing station is and all that stuff, and then I built this whole other enclosure around the back of the trailer. Right, you see, I just used pallets with the existing fence, you know what I'm saying? Right, got our wood pile right here. Right, I added this bush in because I'm not cutting this bush down, so this bush actually became part of the fence. See, because look, pallets are right there next to it. Right, overlapping. Right, and then I built this wall along the back right here that's just a little bit, you know, about 6 feet or so high, with these posts and fence rail right here up alongside the, you know, camp trailer. So, right. So we have sort of a windbreak, and, you know, we have a little entertainment area right here that, you know, I still have yet to go for, right? But I've done all of this in the last, I don't know, 6 weeks or so, right? During good days when it wasn't too windy, right? Wasn't too cold, you know, wasn't raining, right? But right now what I'm working on is this pile right here. Right, now this is all the dirt from the last couple of years of groves and stuff like that that I've been saving in that bucket and that bucket. There's a couple more buckets over there that have some dirt in it, right? This one's full of mulch, you know what I'm saying? Right, they came over there from the lily pads that I mowed all down this, you know, at the end of December this year, right? So there's no weeds or stickers or any of that crazy stuff in that bucket right there. See, so what I've been doing is just mixing it all up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it all up, and I'm going to add some of that mulch, right? Mix it up more and more and more. And I'm going to throw some water on it, let it freeze, let it decompose some more, right? You know, just keep building on it, because I'm going to use all of this dirt for my buckets. Plus, you know, I'll probably buy 5 or 6 bags of the potting soil from the, you know, warehouse, from the hardware store that's down over there in Carver's, you know what I'm saying, to add to make this pile to fill up my buckets, right? And that's where we start, you know what I'm saying? You know, I built this enclosure for various reasons, you know what I'm saying? But if you live in the city and you have a backyard, this is what you do. This is how you do it. Some of my reasons are, right, to keep the bunny rabbits from getting in and eating what we're growing. You know what I'm saying? The squirrels, the badger bears, right? And, you know, keep various other individuals out, right? That don't need to be in there, right? And stuff like that. Plus, it makes a solid boundary between our property and the next property over to that side, right? And I did all of this with stuff that I found laying out there in our yard. And, you know, I forgot. I didn't forget, I just forgot to say it in the last segment. But another very important component to your dirt, you know what I'm saying, is cows and their poop. Right now, I'm lucky. I live out here in the wilds in Nevada. If you can't tell yet, there's something wrong with you. But look, that's Mom's house right there, and we live in the little camp trailer on the other side. I'm not even 80 yards away, right? And I have a resource right here, laying in the middle of the road. And there's another pile of it up there. And then I'm going to go around the corner right there, and there's going to be a bunch more piles of it laying right there that'll fill up my bucket to add to my dirt. Okay, now, you know, there's a reason for this. You know, manure is good. Manure, you know, it enriches the ground, it enriches the soil that you're planting your stuff in. Your plants and your food and your bushes and everything else, your flowers, whatever you're growing, it gains more nutrients, so it grows bigger, it grows, you know. Because out here, you know, the only thing we get to add to it is water or whatever nutrients we buy, you know, from the internet, you know. Right? So me, I'm old school, right? I like to do the organic thing. You know what I'm saying? So I search out my resources wherever I can get them. Now I'm fortunate because right across the street we got cows. But this is not where this poop came from. This poop comes from the wild cows that run around, you know what I'm saying, out there in the desert behind me. I'm sorry I spun around too fast. But look, that's wild open desert out there. The next habitation is 6 miles away, and that's Hadley. Right? So, you know, a lot of the ranchers that live up in Wyoming and, you know, over there and up north, wherever the heck they are, a lot of times during the winter, which is now, they bring their cows and they let them run around out here in the open range in the valley. And they wander up and down the roads and they poop all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta make sure you keep the gate closed on your yard, otherwise they'll come right up and poop on your grass. They will. But it's a resource that you can find, you know what I'm saying, that you can use. If you live in the city and you listen to me, oh, crazy old man, I live in the city, where am I going to find cow poop? You go right down to the feed store or right down to, you know, Walmart or your local, you know, Home Depot or wherever, right? And you pay for the bags of it. Right? I just happen to be a little bit smarter and I have the opportunity and the means to make my own. But it doesn't mean that you can't find it and you can't get it and bring it to your house too. See, I already got a dang near half full bucket. And look, see, this is how easy it is. Look at that. The cows just give it to you. Leave in piles. Once they drop it, you let it set for a day or two out here in the cold. It just, you know, sets up and you just pick it up in patties. Now look, here's my buddies right here, the three amigos. Right, 6, 7 months ago, these 3 little cows right there, not little anymore, but these cows right here were babies. Now I think the smallest one probably weighs over 1,000 pounds. Resource. This is where it comes from. Sorry about the lighting. You know what I'm saying? It's getting to be about 2 o'clock or so in the afternoon, and we don't have sunlight very much during the day still. It goes down around 4:30, 4:45, at least behind the mountains over here. It goes down like about right there. A couple more, 2.5, maybe a few more hours of daylight. But anyways, to get back to what I'm doing here is the next component that you need is a little bit of gravel. Now, there's a couple of different reasons for this. The most apparent, the most obvious is because gravel helps with the drainage, right? In your pots, right? You understand? So it doesn't get oversaturated and mold out and all that stuff, right? You understand? Gravel's got minerals and crystals and salts and all kinds of stuff in it, that's organic, that's natural, that comes from the ground because it came out of the ground, you know what I'm saying? And it adds a little bit more of that, magical little boost to your stuff, right? So we're going to throw in probably, you don't need a whole lot, you just need a little bit. In the pile of dirt we're making, I'm probably going to fill up my wheelbarrow about maybe level, maybe a little bit more, and add it to the pile over there, and then that would be our gravel component. Okay, the last component, there will be 2 more components. The last one right here is just a bunch of brown paper bags, pizza box, cardboard, stuff like that, all shredded up, right? And then, right now I got about 3 gallons of water. Right? So, got my gravel, got my mulch, and I got my dirt. My already made dirt. This is dirt that's been recycled from, like I said in the beginning, previous grows and other stuff. See, look, that was one of the ones that I grew 2 years ago. See, all of it's in here. Paper, you know what I'm saying? Little bits of mulch, and I just dump it all up here. I got out the old trusty pitchfork right here, and we're going to mix it up. First off, I like to, stir this up a little bit. It's got a little bit of everything in it, corn cobs, chunks of, big chunks of wood, a few rocks here and there. See, look, there's another one I grew. See, there's 2 of them. You want to break up the big chunks, stir it around, flip it over. That's why I use a pitchfork for this stuff. You can see I already got some paper in it. So, let's throw in a little bit of gravel. That. The rest of this stuff in here is all that good fresh stuff I just got, remember? Take some more in. Alright, throw in our paper. Alright, and then just mix it all up again. Alright. Alright. You want to take any stray bits of debris out. Right? Looks pretty good. Take a little bit of mulch, scatter it over the top of the little hole that you made. Around. Alright. The reason I'm doing this is because it'll retain, the water. Because I want it to freeze. Alright, that's why we're doing this in January. Alright. Yeah. Let's see. Might as well throw the rest of the poop in. Alright. And then just pour the water on. And maybe a little bit more. Maybe I'm gonna let it sit in here in probably about 10 minutes. I go get another half bucket, fill it and pour some more in. And then just leave it sit. Right? And then over the course of the next couple of months, because remember, we're making this dirt, and then we're going to add a bunch of potting soil to it, about the same amount, right? And the compost that I got going over there, right? And all of this is going to fill up our planting buckets. Right? This is how I do it, right? Organically. That way, right? I can just use chemicals when I need to at the end of the season when I want everything to get gigantic and grow buds. But this, right here, doing it this way, right, will keep my ground good, give me a lot of nutrients, a lot of support. You know what I'm saying? I'll get worms and stuff will grow in the buckets in the ground, they will, right? You know what I'm saying? And stuff will grow gigantic. We'll get big giant tomatoes. I'm going to try to grow me a big bucket full of potatoes right here somewhere, right? Some onions. We're going to do a lot of stuff this year. But this is where I always start, right here. This is the base of it. Now I'm going to go get some more water and pour it on top, right? Maybe we'll pick it up on the next video. You know what I'm saying? And I'll talk about the welder, maybe. Until then, you know what I'm saying? Right? Be good to yourselves. This is a new year, so try to be a little bit more prosperous this year than you were last year. You know what I'm saying? And let's hope things really do start to change. Alright? This is me, Brian. Thank you. Please like and subscribe and share the video if you thought it was interesting. Thank you.